Hello, 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 my beautiful people. Today we're going to do He Said, She Said, and we're going to talk about the narcissists in their reckless state. I'm going to have us be joined with someone else, and then I'm going to make a response to his take on things and tell me how you feel about it.
Some of you experience where the narcissist goes and marries someone right after you, or the narcissist gets pregnant by someone right after you, and you wonder, how does this happen, right?
Is this something that you've experienced when you broke up with the narcissist and you notice how they just seem to move on so quickly? They either go and have a baby with someone else, like the woman, she gets pregnant immediately from someone else, or the man, he goes and finds someone else and marries them. They just seem to move on so quickly. Has this been something that you've experienced?
How does the narcissist find themselves in that type of predicament? Well, in the reckless state, the narcissist is capable of anything. And I know I said I was going to be back after Christmas.
But this part is so true. When he speaks about the reckless state, they are capable of anything. I myself have experienced, we're in the holidays right now, and my ex-narcissist has reappeared, as strange as this may sound. And when it comes to being reckless, that's an understatement. I mean, the character has put himself in such crazy situations, and of course he's called me and spoken to me and claimed that he's suicidal. But going forward from now on, if the hospital is not calling me to tell me that they're in the hospital and made attempts on suicide, I'm not falling for that. We, being the empaths that we are, we get a little you don't want to have that guilt of this person actually killed themselves and did some harm to themselves, and there was something you could have done to prevent it. That's something that we just don't sit well with. But going forward, if the hospital hasn't called me to tell me about these suicidal attempts, I'm not going for it.
But I think you guys need to hear this.
Yeah.
The narcissist is capable of anything in their reckless state. When a narcissist suffers a deep wound, injury, they get off their rockers. They really go off the deep end.
And he is not lying, because when I got my divorce from my ex-narc, he lost it. He totally lost it, and when I went to no contact, that's when he just turned to drugs. Crazy. I can't. This is not funny. It's sad, actually, because it's such disbelief. It's so hard for me to believe that they would get so reckless. If anything, you would think that they would try to get their life in order and try to do better, so that way they can try to win you back. But at least try. But to go out there and turn to drugs and prostitutes and people who are more of a mess than they are, which I've noticed that about them. They tend to like people who are more messed up than they are. People who are more dysfunctional than they are, because that helps them to feel good about their situation. But when he says that they become incredibly reckless, yeah, that's not an understatement.
And this is when they don't care. They're very again, they're very reckless. They're very careless. Their judgment is completely shot in this state.
That's absolutely true, because I look at the decisions that this person makes. I mean, he's in debt. He owes the bank like $500 from bounced checks. He owes everybody around town money. He tries to hit me up and try to run game on me, trying to get cash out of me. And, reckless. Just don't care. constantly behind in the rent, constantly behind in his bill payments. And it's crazy. It's oh, I just don't know. I'm just like, oh, this stuff has just been happening recently, considering the holidays are near, and they get a little depressed around this time. And the things that I've no, it's really sad. It's just sad.
When you are dealing with them in this particular state, or if you've left them, don't be surprised from what you may find or what you may find out about them, okay? Because this state, guys, is a state where the narcissist is not thinking in any type of way of constructively, all right? The narcissist is on a destructive path, in a destructive mode.
And that part is so true, because when I got to see the narcissist, my ex-narc, he looks terrible. His clothes are dirty. His face is sunken in. He lost so much weight. He looks beat up and worn out. And the type of people that he surrounds himself with, they look even more beat up and worn out than he does. So when it gets to, like he's saying here, it's true. They get to a point where they just don't care, where they don't even take pride in how they look. I mean, his hair is all unkempt, an odor to his clothes and his body, and it's just it's sad. So when they say, you have to be careful how you treat people, because what goes around comes around, honey. They didn't lie when they said that. It's true.
Okay. The narcissists, when they become reckless, are capable of anything. So it shouldn't shock you if they go and marry someone else, or they have a kid, okay, with someone else in that state.
Yeah, because this narc that I'm dealing with, he's dealing with some other females, and I do mean plural. They're prostitutes, they're street whores, they're females that he picked up out of crack houses. These are females who are just using him for money. These are like Caucasian females, and then after they use him for his money, they have the nerve to call him a nigger, or bubba, meaning dummy. I mean, after sitting up here using the character. And then you have the other one that he was explaining to me. She doesn't want him to come around except for at night, when nobody could see what she's bringing in her apartment. These are all females who are highly dysfunctional. The way you could just move on to garbage. And it seems like he's losing all the good people out of his life and gaining all the parasites. Oh, unbelievable.
Right. I know narcissist situation. Same situation. Have a kid with someone completely wasn't planned, and when they do, it's too late. So they got to fall through with it. And so most of you'll wonder why, like, how could this happen? How did that go in that way? Well, in that state, the narcissist is not thinking. These individuals are very irresponsible. And when they are engaging in doing anything in that state of being off balance mentally and emotionally, in distress, they're capable of, goodness knows. Some of you, you find out, if you're ladies, you find out that, wow, he just married this other woman, and he didn't marry me, and all the. Well,
and if these women, let me tell you, honey, if he married somebody else or he's with someone else, please count your blessings, because he's the same crap that he put you through. That's the same garbage he's going to put this new person through, his new supply. I call them, his new, like a vampire, new blood. They need blood, their supply, to keep them going. He's going to put them through the same thing, along with, even if it's a female and she's with another man. She's going to put that man through hell. Believe me when I tell you. So you shouldn't feel bad about it or upset about it. You should be grateful and thank your lucky stars.
Well, if you catch them in that condition, in that state, whoever catches them, you know, it can happen. But take note on this, that doesn't mean that it's going to work out or it's going to be anything productive. No, they're just in a state of mania. Okay, these individuals, man, they can do some crazy outlandish things when they get to that point. Stuff that you wouldn't even fathom them doing or going through. And, you know, they just carry on. You know, they don't have a choice but to carry on. But, you know, going deeper into it, the narcissists really start to detach their feelings, emotions, everything from reality when they go into that state. So they're not thinking about safety. They're not thinking about consequences. They're not thinking.
This is so true because he actually put himself in a situation where he could have lost his car. You know, at least this is what he tries to lead me to believe. He's not thinking. He's in a state of mania. And it's what everything that this man is saying is so true. They are very reckless. They are not thinking sensibly. And it's unbelievable. And he actually went back into like a child mode. I don't know what to do. Can you call this person for me? What? Are you serious? I was like, what? This is craziness. Anyway, I'm going to end this right now. This is Sheila True Love. You always have a choice. Please choose wisely. I will make a part 2 because, like you know, I don't like to make my videos too long and dragged out. You always have a choice. Please choose wisely. Like I said, we'll talk again.